Hello, everybody. Hi there. It is me. I am here again, back at it again, y'all. I'm going to be doing this every Wednesday. I'm committed to it. So, my name is Renika Hamilton. You can find me on Instagram at Nika77. You can see this down here on my screen. And hi, everybody. Okay, I know I did this last week, but I'm going to have to do it one more time this week, and you're just going to have to forgive me. I will be back live and we will have conversations. You will be able to send me comments and we can talk and we can chat and we can catch up, I promise. But I do have to pre record this one more time, guys, because I got invited to something very, very important that I committed to. And yeah, sorry. Once again, this is a pre recording, but this is a great topic tonight. And when I come back and we have a conversation live, it's going to be great. I can't wait to see your comments. I can't wait to see you here with me, interacting with me live, and let's have our banter back and forth. It's going to be great. But tonight's topic, I'm so excited because tonight we're talking about finding that inner strength that you have to be able to love yourself through any situation that you're going through and to feel better and to do the things that you want. Now, if you know me, my whole thing, my whole like presentation, everything that I teach people, everything that I want people to know when they walk away, when they have any interaction with Renika Hamilton, you're going to believe in yourself and you're going to change your mindset and get some things done in your life that you want done. Now, I know how hard it is to believe in yourself, to have that mindset, to want to do things differently and go after things that feel like it's impossible or to recover from things. And that's what we're kind of going to be talking about tonight is how to gracefully recover and be resilient, loving yourself enough to get up and keep going. Because there are a lot of people right now that have things going on in their lives and they're kind of stuck in this situation. And I have been there. I've been there. I've done it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I was able to kind of get through those things and maybe inspire you to do the same thing. But we do have to love ourselves enough to get up when the going is tough. You got to keep on going. You got to keep going where you want to go. So I was inspired by this topic tonight, because I watch a lot of videos. I watch inspirational things. I listen to things. I hear stories, and people go through stuff a lot. Like we really do go through things, and sometimes when people go through stuff, it does make them want to just stop and just like stay in that thing that's kind of holding them back. But one of my philosophies in life is that we are all here on this earth to accomplish something major. Each one of us have like a purpose, something that we're supposed to do in our lives. And we all have time that has been given to us, predetermined, to make those things happen. And I think sometimes on our journey, you can extend that time or you can shorten it based on some of the things that you do in your life, some of the choices that you make in your life. I think a lot of times people have, like, I've heard of different people talking about like these different parallel universes where like there's a straight path to get somewhere. And on the path to get there, you come to this curve and you either have to make a right or a left. There you can't no longer go straight. You have to make a right or left. You got to make a choice. If you go right, or my right over here, your right is there. But right, if you go right, what will happen at the end, if you choose that way? Or if you go left, what kind of circumstances would you go here? Whatever choice you don't make is a choice that you never know about. And that's where people think that alternate universe is. It's the choice that you chose not to go down, that you never know what could have happened. And I think that's how life is. Life is about coming to that point in time where you have to make a decision. and you have to go and feel good about that decision. And then you make it, and then your life continues to go based on whatever decision it is that you have made. I'm a strong believer in that. I also believe that um, our life is, there's like something very rewarding about life when we finally reach that destination and that purpose that we are supposed to get to. That once you get it, it's like a major reward. It's like a really good thing. So it's so good that there are things that are put in your pathway, so it doesn't make it so easy to get there. So that when you finally get there, it's like, whew, I finally made it. It feels awesome. I feel amazing. Like you have a different appreciation because of the journey that it took you to get there to that ultimate reward. And so I think along our journeys, everybody has this life journey and they start out and there's a goal, there's something they're trying to achieve, and then something comes along the way. And those things that come along the way are obstacles and things that are put there to stall you, intentionally to stall you, to see what you will do um, about reaching that goal. Like, will you stay on the path or will you stop and give up? Like, what will be your ultimate decision to get where you want to go? So, our life is all about finding that strength in the inside of us to keep, and the determination to keep going, even when we don't want to anymore, even when we're ready to give up. So that's what I want to talk about today. Like, I know people, I've seen it on Facebook. Some of my friends, people are going through really heavy things right now. Loss of loved ones, loss of jobs, loss of the one thing that they thought was the purpose that didn't go through. Just things that really do kind of keep people from wanting to keep moving forward. And I just want to motivate people that no matter what, like, you really have to find that strength to keep going. You have to love yourself enough to keep going for what you know is your ultimate reward at the end of your journey. It's going to be so worth it. This is why I'm so optimistic. I'm like one of the most optimistic people that you will meet. I'm a very optimistic person because I feel like I know that there is something greater, something that I'm supposed to achieve. I've been knowing this since I was a little girl. I don't know quite what it is. I just know that it's great. And I've been saying this to myself for a long, long time. Now, it is true that I thought that something great was going to happen when I was in my 30s. It didn't happen, but I didn't give up. I didn't give up. I kept going. And there were some obstacles and things that knocked me down really, really bad to getting there. But I kept going. Everybody knows that I'm extremely, had a very close relationship with my dad. That was like my best friend. I love my father so much. And he died unexpectedly on Father's Day in 2012. And I I got into this funk when he died. There was a period of time I didn't really want to do much of anything. That was the start of when I started gaining a lot of weight. I lost my motivation to do all the things that I was on track to doing because my father was no longer here, and he was one of my biggest inspirations and a very good motivator and a very good supporter. I'm kind of following his footsteps because he he is a motivational speaker, and he used to be, he's a pastor, and spoke very well, and uh, used to inspire and motivate people all the time. And I always admired that about him. And when he left me, it really did do something to me. And I had no idea that it was going to keep me stuck in how I was for years. I want to say, so my dad died in 2012. I think I was stuck in that rut for at least like 8 years, I want to say. 8 or 9 years. Just not having the motivation to do hardly anything. And I had gotten to a very unhealthy size. Everybody knows that. I had gained quite a few pounds when my dad died. And then I found the motivation. I found that strength within. And probably, I think mostly it came from when I did my changing my mindset exercise. So I always wanted to lose weight. I didn't really mean to get this big. And when I did get this big, I was like motivated to go to the gym and try to eat right and do all the things to get on all these fad diets, but it just wasn't working for me. And like I tell my clients all the time, or people that want to lose weight, it's so important to make sure that your mind is ready to move into whatever it is that you want. Like, you got to put your mind right so that you can move into the things that you want and the goals and the desires that you want. So when I finally had that mindset change, that's when things started changing for me. I started getting back on the path. I now have the motivation and the desire to keep moving into the things that I want to move into. But I know for sure now that those obstacles that were put in my way along the way were put there for me to actually try to give up. There were some things that happened to me as a young child that I think back on right now, and it just means so much to me that I was able to overcome and be resilient enough and love myself enough to just get up and keep going in spite of feeling the way that I felt, going through some of the things that I've gone through. It takes a lot of inner strength to be able to do those things. And how do you find that inner strength? Well, I think the first thing you do is working on that mindset and understanding why it is that you want to do what you want to do. What is your purpose and why do you want to do it? So like resonating with that and being really tied in to your ultimate why is the key. And I don't know if it helps, but I can share with you what my why was and what my ultimate why is. Like, so at first, my why was simply because I really wanted to lose the weight and stop feeling so bad. I wasn't feeling great, right? Everybody knows that story. But the core reason to my why is because I wanted to build a legacy of, having generational wealth for not only my child, but my children's children and their children. Like, being able to start that process and breaking a curse from where I grew up, so that I could leave a legacy behind for my children and their children and their children, and so on and so forth. I want to be the start of that. And I know that I can't do that if I'm unhealthy, if I'm getting sick and doing things, where I can't contribute and have the strength to even do some of those things that I need to do in order to build that legacy, because I'm too tired, or I don't feel so well. I don't have the energy. So my ultimate why was all about having the strength and the passion and energy and everything that I needed to get to that ultimate goal. I used to think it was because I just didn't want to be poor anymore. I used to work. I'm a very ambitious person. Grew up with not a lot. And that wasn't fun. And so I was committed not to live life like that again. But then as I started, making it where I could see I wasn't going to get back to being poor anymore, then it started turning into, okay, I'm going to get married, I'm going to have kids, and I want to be able to leave something behind for my kids. I want to live the good life myself, of course, and then leave a very good life for my kids and their kids. And that just became my powerful why. So have you connected with yourself like that? Have you actually sat down and thought about what your ultimate goal is? Like, what is it that you would like to be remembered for? What is it that you would like to accomplish? What legacy would you like to leave behind? Like, have you had that conversation with yourself? Are you making those steps to do that right now? If not, what is it that's really truly holding you back? And how do you get the strength to get up and keep going when there have been so many major setbacks? Now, I have shared a lot with you all. There was another setback. I've always wanted to be this motivational speaker. Y'all know that too. I'll be telling y'all all my stuff, right? And I am so excited because after this broadcast, the next day, which is on Thursday, I'm going to be motivational speaking. I'm going to do a motivational speak. I got a speech. I've gotten invited to speak at the Women's Resource Center and give some hope and inspiration to some individuals that have been having these obstacles put in their way. They have lost jobs, just finding the strength to keep looking for something to move forward in their lives, and they just need a little bit of motivation. So I was like, I would be happy to talk about this. This is something right up my alley. So many of you know my other story, this obstacle that was put into my way and how I overcame it. I have for a long time wanted to be something like a very good leader at my job. Wanted to move up in the ranks. Had the vice president behind my name. Those are some goals that I have been trying to do for a long time, and I was on a very good path to doing that a few years ago. So when I first set the goal to getting that VP behind my name, I had put in like a 2-year plan to do that. Now there's like when you put in these plans in place, sometimes there's like no set guide that says if you do X, Y, and Z, this is going to happen. There are plans that say, there are things that say if you do these steps, it's most likely that's going to lead to this. So that's a good rule of thumb for everybody, for anybody, for anything that you're going for. There's no step-by-step guide to actually getting there because everybody's circumstances are different. The people that you need to be able to do those things are different. Resources are different. All kinds of things there's variances everywhere in everything that you do. But if you have a blueprint and you have this plan and you say, okay, this is how I envision I'm going to get to this thing, it's important to evaluate that as you go along the way. And don't think that that's all that you're like, these are the steps. This is what I'm going to do. And that's it. Because things are going to come, obstacles are going to come and get in your way and prevent you, just like I'm sharing with you now. So basically, I put a 2-year plan together for moving up in my company. And my 2-year plan was turned into an 8-year plan. Imagine Imagine that right quick. If you have a goal in mind and you think it's going to take you 2 years and it actually takes you way longer than what you thought it was going to take, how easy would it be for you to give up? There was a time I wanted to give up. Actually, I think there was a time I actually did. I was like, well, moving on to the next thing. I guess it's not going to happen for me. But what made me not give up was the fact that I knew that I possessed the skills to get to this level. I knew I had done all the steps that other people had done before and it worked for them, but it just wasn't working for me for whatever reason. It wasn't working. But it didn't take away from who I know that I am, what my purpose is, what I wanted, what my desires were. And I kept going anyway. And even when I did give up, the one time I did in the middle of that time frame, it felt bad because it looked like I was moving backwards instead of moving towards what my goal was. It really did. There was a time in my career where things just did not look like I was on the path to getting to where I wanted to be. And everybody knew it. Everybody knew the path I wanted to be at because I was very, very vocal about that, which is another thing I would share with you all is make sure that people, especially people that care about you, your support circle, make sure they all know exactly where you want to be so they can help you stay motivated to get to where you want to be. But yeah, there was a time I definitely wanted to give up, but I didn't give up. And I kept going because I knew that I had done all the things, I had done all the steps, and I had stuck to my plan. And that, for whatever reason, wasn't happening within my time frame. But I knew that I shouldn't give up. The other day, I had a thought about that saying that says, if at first you don't succeed, try again. I mean, that's so true. You try again. You keep trying until you reach exactly what it is that you want to get to. So that's what I did. I kept trying, but there were some other things that I did along the way too. I had to make sure that I wasn't speaking negatively about myself, to myself, about this situation and how long it was taking me to get to this point. And I just had to remind myself in everything that I do, I do it like I know I would if I had the title behind my name. And so finally, out the blue, and I wasn't even thinking about it, it happened. Got the promotion. Got what I wanted. And things are looking up. Another situation that hasn't quite happened for me yet, but one that I'm not going to give up on is finding the one for me. I've been dating out here. Yes, I have. I've dated. I don't give up on love. Love is not gonna give up on me either. But I talk to a lot of women in my predicament. I do. And I actually heard from a really good friend of mine who's also well, he's a friend of mine, but he does podcasts and he does these type of shows too. And I was listening to him the other day, and he said something on his channel, and I was like, wow, that was deep. That's good. And I know this already, but when he said it out loud, I was like, oh, that's a great reminder. He said, women who find themselves in my position right now. If you're saying out loud to yourself, you're single and you're saying to the universe and to anybody who's listening, I don't want this type of man. I don't want this. I don't want that. You're focusing on all the things that you don't want, and the universe is responding by sending you those things because that's all you're focusing on. So, one of the most powerful things that I already know about mindset is speaking things into existence, speaking things as if they already are. So, I speak positively now. I have positive affirmations. And I say all the things that I want to happen for me. I say them out loud. I've written, like, if you come to my house, if you ever been to my house, I know I've had friends over and they've seen this before. But in my room, there is this, I have a mirror in my room, and I have all these affirmations on my mirror. Sometimes I will look at them and I'll read them out loud and I'll say them out loud, what those affirmations are, what they mean to me. Because it's a powerful exercise to do. It's very powerful. Finding your strength is making sure that you are powerfully saying these things about yourself on a day in and day out basis about the type of life that you want to live. And sometimes, yes, we are going to have some setbacks. Sometimes those setbacks are going to be so hard that it's really tough to even think, how could you even move on? How could you get up? But the most powerful thing you could do in that moment is to do the practice, do the things that I said last week. In the live last week, I talked about loving yourself enough to say to yourself, what is it that you need? What do you need right now? What's going on? And then getting up and doing those things. Responding to yourself and making sure that you give yourself what you need. It's so powerful when we do that. When we speak on improving our lives and speak on the things that we want our lives, how we want our life to look like. So to all my female friends out there who are divorced and ready to give up on love because the prospects out there are a little bit not what you're looking for, start talking about what the things that you are looking for, and all of a sudden, everywhere you go, you're gonna see those prospects. That's what's happening for me. Okay, everywhere I go now, all the prospects that I want, I just have, it's so many for me to choose from. I don't know what to do. I have the pick of the litter. So yeah, we have to start saying those wonderful things about ourselves, lifting ourselves up, being very careful about how we direct our lives. And I don't even think people know. Like, I don't think you, like, because it's not intentional. You don't mean to do some of the things that you're doing. Sometimes you put a spell on yourself. Like, sometimes you are your own villain based on some of the things that you say and the actions that you take and the things that you decide to do. You're your own villain. You're in your own way. And I'm committed not to be in my own way anymore. I used to have this thing called the imposter syndrome. Does anybody know what that is? It's like when you feel like something that you desire that only you, that God put this in your heart for you to go for. And then you feel like, oh, I'm not good enough to even get there. You see other people doing it, you're like, I'm not quite like that person. No, you're not. You're not like that person because you're an individual. You are you. You are you. You don't have to be perfect. All you have to be is you. And whatever that desire is, whatever it is that you know is your purpose and what you're supposed to do in life, it's going to happen for you. That's why I'm so excited about my life because everything's going in the right direction, the way that I want it to go. And I have found the strength within me. There are times, there have been things that have happened this year to me, things that have happened this year that would make me in the past want to just be like, forget this. But I've kept going. I do it with a smile on my face. There are some times I don't want to get up. I don't want to have a smile on my face. I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay there and just not do. But I get up and I do anyway. Because I owe it to myself. You owe it to yourself. To love yourself. Get up. Keep going. Get that strength inside of you. Get up and move. I don't know if at the, like, if you will ever be able to find out, like, if I would have made this decision, how would life have turned out? I don't know if we get to know that. Like, I don't know if there's ever a time we get to know that, but I'm very positive that in my life, especially with my decisions now, that every decision that I make is putting me that much closer to reaching my ultimate destiny, to living out my full purpose, to getting the happiness in my life that I truly deserve. And I forgive myself. And we talked about this before too. There have been some decisions that landed me. I think that's why I didn't get to my destination quicker. It's because of some of the decisions that I made back then when I wasn't loving myself enough, when I wasn't saying the right things and being positive to myself and getting the strength to keep going. There were some decisions that I made that I had to learn how to forgive myself for and move forward anyway. It was just a little small setback. Nothing major. It just redirected. It's like when you put in a GPS and the GPS says go here and you miss the turn. You have to go all the way around and come back, and it takes time out of your journey to get to where you're supposed to be. That's pretty much what it was. That's how you should look at your journey. Decisions that you make, things that happen in your life that set you back. It's okay. It's just going to take you a little bit longer. Or it might have even propelled you. Like you might have turned a little bit too early. Imagine that. You turned a little too early, but now it's gotten you a little bit closer to where you want to go. But I just want to just encourage everybody. That's what today's message is all about. People are dealing with some really tough stuff. Trust me, I understand. And I hope this reaches the person that really needs this motivation. That is my hope. If only one person listens to this tonight, I'll be happy if that person is inspired to get up, to keep going, find that strength, and go live your life passionately. And go for what you deserve. Go, get that reward at the end of all of this. Like, you have gone through all of these things for a reason. You've overcome those. You should be super proud of yourself. So these little setbacks, the things that have stopped us dead in our tracks, it's time to rise up. Let it go. Dust yourself off. Get up and keep going. And I want to say if it's the loss of a loved one that has really gotten you to that point where you're like, gosh, I just don't know how to move forward. I want you to know that that person would want you to keep living your life. Like they wouldn't want you to stop living because they're not here anymore. So think about that. That's how I think about my father. He would not want me to give up. He'd want me to keep going. And he's proud of me along the way as I keep going. So that is what I wanted to talk about tonight. And reminding you all to find your inner strength and find that love in yourself to be resilient, to get back up, and to keep going. Something great is coming. Everybody under the sound of my voice, if you're hearing this, something great is coming. You just got to get up and go get it. Okay? All right. So that was tonight's topic. Once again, so sorry that I was not able to be here live again tonight. But I will be back live. And I want you to join me on my page live. And we are going to talk live. And I want to hear your comments. I want to see your comments. I want to highlight your comments. I want to interact with you all. You all just make this so fun for me. I love doing this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm so excited, like I said again, about motivating some people tomorrow on Thursday to keep looking, keep searching for what they want in life, to not give up, to know that even though they have this minor setback, they can get up and keep going. And that the people who get up and keep going do find rewards. It's the people that stop that's when failure happens, when you just give up and don't do it anymore. So let's keep going, okay? Let's not be failures. All right? So again, come back. We will have a live chat. I'm going to be on my Instagram live later on this week too. So if you miss me live, join me on Instagram. If you're not my friend, send me a friend request at Nika77 on Instagram. I'll be live this week, so come back and join me live. We'll talk and have a good time and have a little party and all that good stuff. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for listening tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back.